Hi, I'm Brent, and this is the Demo2 presentation for our Dominion project. And here's the website you can go to at the end if you wanted to try it out for yourself. And so far, the features we have in this program are the table view, and then the cards that grow with mouse over, ability to play action and coin cards from the hand, and feedback when clicking the cards in the supply. And I covered those in the first video. And now we also have the ability to buy a card from the supply deck and a functional end turn button. So here's our website, and now the actions and the buy points work, and also the coins, because you can buy cards from the supply. So if you don't have enough of any of these, or if you don't have enough buys or coins, you can't buy any cards, and you get an error, like this says insufficient coin. So now if we play these coin cards, we can buy this card, and as you can see, it took off our buy point and the coins. Now it says we have insufficient buy points when we try to buy another one. And then another function that we added was a functional end turn button. So when I click on that, I get a new hand that was drawn from my player deck, and I can just keep playing the game against nobody. And we also added the ability to play action cards, and the actions are functional, all except for the trash card. Trash up to 4 cards from your hand. We haven't added the ability to trash cards yet. So I'm going to buy one of these, and then eventually it ends up in your hand. And this one should give me 1 card, 1 action, 1 buy, and 1 coin. And it uses an action point. So I got my 1 buy and my 1 coin, and I got the action point back. And here's the card that I got from playing that card. So now I can buy another one. Most of these do pretty similar things. And see if there's one that does something different. Right now this one just adds coins to the player. And eventually we want to make it so they just pick out a card that costs up to 4 coins. So if I play this, I get 4 coins. And now I have insufficient actions, so I can't play any more cards. And that's pretty much all of the gameplay that's in there right now. So you can see the cards that you bought. And now we'll take a look at the code. So here's the code for the game. And I guess we'll focus on the changes that we made. So most of the changes were with the buy card, the ability to buy cards from the supply. So we added this function, and it works for all of these different cards. And the function takes the card that they clicked on in the player object. So now we'll take a look at the function. So this basically just checks to make sure that the player has sufficient coins and buy points. And if they do, then it'll push the card to their discard pile, which is an array, and refresh their stats so they can see it on the screen. And here are the error messages if they don't have enough points or coins. And then another function we added a lot to was this one. Or I guess I added this code. So everything I'm going to cover in this video is code that I added. And now we have the ability to play action cards. Before we could only play coins. This basically just makes sure that the player has sufficient action points, and then it checks to see what actions the card has. So when we call this function, it takes in a card object, a player object, and also the index where the card is in the player's hand. And the index is used when we call the move to discard pile, so that we know which card we're moving from the hand. And the card object has an array of actions. So this is a loop that goes through all of the actions in the array so that the player will get all of those benefits. And then move to discard just moves the card from the player's hand into their discard array, because those are both arrays. It's right here. So this function basically just uses the splice function for to remove the element from the array. And that took a while to figure out, but eventually I got it. And that's it for the move to discard function. And then in the play card function, we also have the victory option. So if they try to play victory cards, they get an error. And they can also play cursed cards now, which they wouldn't be able to see what happens because it's just points in the background right now. And I've added some changes to the end turn function. Or I guess I just added a way I made a function called show hidden cards so that the cards would show up on the player's screen because they weren't showing up before. And that part was a little bit confusing, so basically I just had to make sure the array matched what was on the screen. And there were some issues with the array being different than what was on the screen. And I guess it was just because the cards were hidden. So when the jQuery fade out function plays, then the card's going to stay hidden. And so I just fade in all of the cards that aren't undefined. So whenever the player plays a card, that card becomes undefined because of the splice function. And then the last function that I added was refresh hand, which is this one. And that was kind of part of show hidden cards. At first I thought this would fix the problem, and this is just for whenever the player plays a card. So up here, these are the player cards, and it calls refresh hand after the play card function. And during the last demo, we didn't remove the cards from the player's array. It only was removed from the screen. So that's why this is a new function, because when the card is removed from the array, we have to redraw the cards to the screen. So first, we just remove all the cards from the screen and then draw them to the screen, and that fixed the problem. And eventually I'd probably want to change it to something a little better looking, because when you click on a card with a different card to the right of it, it changes to that card. But for now it works alright, at least. And that's it for the changes that I made to the program since Demo 1. And thank you.